This is last week on Wednesday's show. Jared Jackson wanted to point out that all of these racist attacks against BLM, the anti-scientific attacks against mask wearing, this is not just him like Sean Hannity style opining or like Rush Limbaugh in his second hour, that this is all scripted. Jared pointed that out. Here's a bit from that show.
He's talented at manipulating the argument when you're not arguing with anyone. And obviously he's reading it, so this is all a pre-thought-out plan. This is just the way it works. People will watch people on TV, or audiences will watch Tucker on TV and think that he's coming up with these amazing points that are well thought out, and he's just spewing them off top of his head. No, this guy's reading a prepared statement, and if it goes 25 minutes, every word of it was prepared.
Yep.
There's a plan behind every word, the way it's said, and then how it's
So, yeah, it's super timely. Like 2 days later, the guy writing those scripts, we find out, was a crazy racist. Are we supposed to imagine that that didn't influence Tucker's BLM coverage or any of that? Like, when he calls white supremacy a hoax, is that not related to the fact that he surrounds himself with insane white supremacists? Anyway, let's play one other video, because,
Sure.
Look, Tucker Carlson is rightfully being attacked for his constant spewing of white supremacist narratives and talking points and conspiracy theories and stuff like that. But I want to let people know that it is obviously not just Tucker Carlson. It's not just the hosts on Fox News that are doing this. They can bring on guests, including elected Republicans, and get just choice white nationalist propaganda like this.
There is an attempted cultural genocide going on in America right now, and it calls for patriots to stand up and say, this is a great country. It is worthy of our pride and our defense. The left wants us to be ashamed of America.
Okay, so, and he goes on to say that we're not going to let them replace America. Okay, so they bring on a Republican congressman. He says there's a cultural genocide. Okay, we shouldn't be ashamed of our pride, and that we can't let them replace us. I mean, like, he didn't say the 14 words, but that's pretty explicitly as close as he's willing to come to just straight white supremacist talking points there. He hit all of the highlights, all their favorites.
No, he absolutely did. I'm like, you know, in my heart, there's just like a little cloud that's like, I get so sad and scared, you know, because truly what this country has to do, in addition to stamping out a pandemic, is stamping out the, you know, pandemic of white supremacy and the number of militias and white nationalist groups and, you know, Discord chats and whatever, you know, unite the right creatures and urchins that come out with their shields and their weird logos. Like, we have so much work to do, right? I mean, we're still fighting the Civil War somehow. And in fact, ironically, the reason that we have to fight right now is because we didn't do a good enough job in the past. We don't want to undo what's been done. We want to actually put the nail in the coffin of history in the Confederacy, in bigotry, in the idea of racial superiority, like, so we can move forward. So, I mean, it's upsetting how much work we have to do, and Matt Gaetz can eat a big you-know-what.
Okay, yeah. He's one of the worst, and, I mean, he knows what he's doing. Like, the strategy is, like, it's reprehensible. He's a terrible racist and all that. I don't care what shenanigans he does to try to provide cover for himself personally. It doesn't matter. He's a crazy racist, and we should never let him live down the fact that he mocked concern over the pandemic in the opening weeks of the U.S. version by wearing a gas mask on the House floor when legislation was initially being put together to do something about it. He thought it was a big joke. How's Florida doing now? Ted Cruz and, you know, all them, they think it's so funny. How's Texas doing right now? Are your jokes and your lib-owning protecting Texan and Floridian lives? It doesn't seem like it. It seems like maybe a change in strategy would be necessary. But he knows what he's doing. He's supposed to go on Fox and, you know, like give a wink and a nod to Q and white supremacy. And that is the single best thing he can do right now, not to save American lives, but to increase the odds that someday he's a Republican nominee for president. Like, it's crazy, but it is the best strategy considering the base that he's trying to appeal to. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.